the record button. Okay, so welcome to this evening's class. Tonight we're going to do a mixture of things, a nice gentle class with some restorative poses and then a loving kindness meditation at the end. So it's going to be nice and gentle because that's what I have been requested for this evening. So if you have a spare mat or something that looks like this, a rolled up blanket, a heavy rolled up blanket would be good as well, or a rolled up mat, a blanket, a couple of pillows and your own mat and something to sit on. So any props at all that you have, now would be a good time to have them close by. You can pause the recording if you need to go and get them, and then we shall come back and get started. So let's begin this evening because we want to keep this gentle and relaxing. Let's come down to the mat to a nice, gentle, relaxing Shavasana. So what we want to do is place a pillow underneath the head, which is really important to relax the thinking mind. And then if you wish, place a little blanket over you and just let the hands fall out by the sides and let the legs come out onto the floor. So begin this evening just by settling into the mat. So making yourself nice and comfortable. So do whatever movements you need to do. Drop the chin down so that the thinking mind is relaxing. And just walk the hands away from the shoulders, down a little bit down the body. Turn the palms upwards. And if you'd like to support the back, and you have your rolled up mat, just take the mat and maybe a little blanket on top of the mat to give it a little bit of height and place that underneath your knees. It's much more comfy for the back. So if we've ever got any aches or pains in the back, we never put the blanket or the pillows under the back, always under the knees. And then just take a big breath in through the nose, let the belly expand. And open your mouth and let a big sigh out through the mouth. We're going to do this a couple of times. So breathing in through the nose. Just let the mouth relax and a big sigh out through the mouth. And if it's comfortable, just let the eyes close over and begin to settle into the earth below. So big sigh out through the mouth is a great way to tell the body that everything is okay. And then in this lovely resting pose, if you can close over the eyes, if not, you can focus on a point in front of you, let the eyes soften, and check that the mouth is apart, the teeth are apart, the mouth is open, but the lips are just touching. And maybe bring the tongue to the back of the top teeth, because that promotes the breathing in and out through the nose, if that feels comfortable. And here we just begin to settle in, to let go of the day or the week that we've just had. Giving ourselves this quality time to rest, to rejuvenate is so important. So allow yourself this next hour to enjoy this practice. Become aware of the room around you. maybe the sense of smell. And then become aware of any noise that you can hear outside of the room. And then take it in a little bit closer and come inside the room. Perhaps my voice, perhaps any voices around us, clock ticking, maybe there's a dog barking. And then see, can you come in a little bit deeper and follow the breath and see, can you hear the breath as it enters in through the nose, coming into the body and releasing and exiting. And then I invite you to really begin to connect to the breath. Just notice as it arrives and then it leaves us again. Not trying to change anything, not trying to do anything, just observe it. Is it shallow? Is it deep? Just noticing how the breath is right now. And then ask yourself, how am I? How am I? And we meet this answer, this emotion, or whatever it is that comes up. There's no right or wrong here. Just meet this and say, that's okay. So if we're feeling anxious, if we're feeling exhausted, if we're worried or fearful, that's okay. You just notice it. And we sit with it. And remember, sometimes we don't feel okay. And it's okay to not be okay. So always remember that. And then I invite you to set a little intention for our practice this evening. Something for you. A little prompt might be, how would I like to feel at the end of the class? Or how have I been to myself recently? Can I slow down? Can I be a little bit more loving and kind to me? Can I be aware of the words that I use, the internal conversations that I have, the dialogue that I use? And set our little intention. And then when it feels right, begin to bring a little bit of energy into the fingers, into the toes. So just give them a little wiggle, wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes. And then begin to take a nice stretch, whatever way feels good this evening. Stretch into the arms, into the legs, into the jaw, opening the mouth. You might even want to do a big yawn here. And then release, bring the hands back down and bring the feet closer towards the body. So walk the feet in, bend the knees, and just press the feet down onto the mat and notice how that feels. And then take a breath in and bring the hands up over the head, just towards the face. Stretch the arms up. And exhale, bring them back behind you. You don't have to touch the floor, but see, can you bring the lower back down into the mat? Lengthen into the torso. And then when you're ready, inhale, bring the hands back up. And exhale, let them go and release. Let's do that again. So inhale, let's bring the hands up towards the sky. This time, as we exhale, drop the hands down behind us, but lift the hips off the ground. So the hands are over the head, the hips are up in the air, coming into bridge posture. Press down into all 10 toes. And when you're ready, take an inhale, bring the hands up and lower gently back down through the spine with the hands at the same time. So as we come down, upper back, middle back, lower back. And then you can do that nice movement on the back. So just draw the navel in and then release it and open up the lower back by tilting the tailbone down. Exhaling to draw the navel in, connect the lower back. Inhaling, release. So you can just check by sliding your hand underneath your lower back. There's a little bit of space there when we lift the back off. And then when we exhale, connect that whole lower back. Imagine screwing in that belly button. So you're engaging the core, but you're really connecting to a flat back. Just once more. Inhale, release. And exhale, connect. Good. So we're going to do one more of these lovely bridges, and then we're going to come into a supportive bridge. So let's take the hands back up over the head. Exhale, reach the hands back behind us. Lift those hips up nice and high. Let's just hold it here for a breath or two. Notice if the knees start to wobble. Keep the knees about hip distance apart. So about 2 fists. Begin to exhale, and as you do, release the back, release the arms, and come on back down to a flat back. And then we're going to take our rolled up blanket or bolster or our mat, and we're going to lift up again, but this time we're going to place it just underneath the very lower back, just at the top of the bottom and the lower back. Now, if it feels comfortable, you might need a little bit more height, so you can maybe try a pillow as well. You want to give yourself a little bit of height here. So now you're in the bridge posture, but you're completely supported, so you actually don't have to do anything. This pose is really good for flushing everything out in the bronchioles. So anyone who's got chest problems, bronchial problems, asthma, anything like that. And it's also very good for COVID problems as well, because all of that is in the lungs, in the chest. So we're flushing everything back up and out, and we're bringing fresh blood to the head and to the brain. So take a moment here just to feel what this is like. You can close the eyes, maybe take your hands onto your belly. Just breathe. When we do a nice gentle class like this, it's nice to have some soothing music or candlelit, or dim the lights to make it your sacred space. So 2 more breaths here and breathe into those hands. So really expand the belly as you breathe in. And as we let go, the belly softens. One more breath. This time when you exhale, get rid of all that air. So keep exhaling until it's all gone. And then take the hands down by the sides. And just raise the right leg up towards the sky. Draw little circles into the ankle joint. So that right leg is nice and straight. And then go the opposite way. And then we're going to point the toe and flex and point and flex. And we're going to stretch this foot all the way down, very, very slowly, all the way down towards the floor. And you'll feel that right at the front of that hip flexor. So it's nice also to take the hands over the head, lengthen a little bit more. Big deep breath in. And then bend the knee and bring the knee back in line and the foot back on the floor in line with the other leg. You can take the hands back down by the sides and begin to lift the left leg. You going to join us as well? Yeah. Begin to lift the left leg to the sky and then just rotate that ankle joint a couple of times to the right and then to the left. And then point and flex, feeling the back of that leg, point and flex. Now point that toe and stretch that leg as if you're trying to get right away from you. All the way down towards the floor. You will find the floor, don't worry, it's there. Notice how that feels in the opposite hip. And reach the hands up over the head, lengthening into the whole body. And take that knee back in. Okay, press down into the feet to lift up the bum. Slide away whatever is underneath your back. And slowly begin to roll back down through your spine. Feels a lot longer. And then just rock from side to side gently. Take the feet out to touch the sides of the mat. So you'll feel the feet at the sides of the mat. And just let the legs fall to one side, or the knees rather. Come back to the center. 2 knees to the other side. Back to the center. And again, 2 knees to the right or the left, whichever. Keep the shoulders in contact with the floor. Back to the center, last time, 2 knees to the left. Come back to the center. This time, hug the knees in. Give yourself a hug. And then gently rock from side to side on the back. So you're massaging out the lower back. And then you can also place your hands on your knees and start to move in circles, nice and slowly, nice and gently. And then we'll also go the opposite way. And then when you're ready, drop the 2 knees to the left side. Just move over away from the wall. So if the back is okay, if it aches or pains in the back, place the feet on the floor. But if the back feels okay, take the knees up a little bit higher, drop the two knees to the left side, and reach the hands up and over to the right. And then look to the right, so turn your head and then close your eyes. So the legs are going one way, and the arms are going the opposite way. You can place your left hand on top of your right thigh if you wish to make this twist a little bit deeper. And then take a big breath into the whole side of the body. One more nourishing breath. Release, bring those knees back to the center. Notice how one side feels different. And then drop the two knees to the right. Twist the torso and bring the hands across to the left. Turn your head and look to the left. Perhaps take your right hand and place it onto your left thigh or knee. And just continue that little twist a bit more and then relax into it. On your next exhale, bring the knees back to the center and make any little movements or twists that you need to before we roll onto our side. So when you're ready, roll over onto your favorite side, press down with your outer hand in front of your chest to push yourself back up safely and come back up to a seated position. And we're going to go straight over into our tabletop. So tabletop is hands and knees, and if you don't have the socks off, now is probably a good time if you wish, but we're not going to do a lot of feet on the mat tonight. We're going to take it nice and gentle. So hands are underneath the shoulders and the knees are underneath the hips. Spreading out the fingers to help protect the wrists, and the middle finger is always facing the front. And then we're going to move into that spine. So we're going to lift our tailbone. Our tail is here at the back, like the dog. We're going to lift our tailbone, push down into the earth with the hands, and allow our chest to look forward. But be careful with the neck. So we don't want to lift the head up like this. We want to keep the head looking towards the end of our mat and a nice long neck. And then we move into cat stretch. So tip our tailbone down, arch the back, look down between the knees, and really arch that back. Keep letting the head go down, keep looking down between your knees. Good. Arching, arching, draw your belly button in and up. Let's move again. So inhale into our cow pose. Exhale into cat stretch or cat pose. And do this a couple of times in your own pace, with your own breath. If you can have the breath, great. If you can't, don't worry, just keep breathing. So when you arch your back, draw that belly button up and in, yes, and feel the length in the back. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Big arch this time, opening up the space between the vertebrae. And then just bring your bum back towards your heels. Keep arching, keep going. Brilliant. All the way back towards your heels and sit down on your heels. And here we come into what's called hare pose. So I'd like you to take either a cushion or the end of your mat and just place it there so you can rest your forehead onto the mat. So let the head go, let the neck go. You don't want to force the head down onto the floor. So place the forehead onto the rolled up mat or the pillow. Just let the arms relax a little bit. And begin to notice the breathing and the movement in the back. So a little bit like an accordion, the back expands outwards as we breathe in, and then it relaxes as we exhale. So see, can you bring your attention to that just for a couple of breaths? One more breath. And then walk the hands back in. Help ourselves come back up into our tabletop position and just move into the hips to draw circles into the hips, whichever way you want. Just loosening out and go the other way. And you can even move forward and back a little bit. And if the wrists are feeling a little bit tender, you can bring the hands together and interlace the fingers. Just draw little circles into the wrists. Sometimes the wrists can get a little bit weak, and we want to help protect them, loosen them out, bring some blood flow, and then shake them out. Okay, back into our lovely tabletop position. This time, where we have our hands, just move our rolled up mat to the top of our mat. Where we have our hands, I'd like you to bring your elbows to where your hands are. So what I mean by that is, I'm going to place one elbow here and then the other elbow here, and my hands are stretched forward. We're coming into what's called puppy dog pose. So you'll notice if you try and lean back with your tailbone towards your feet, you can't. So you want to have your bottom over your knees. And then you're going to stretch the arms out a little bit further to allow the head to come down onto the floor. And walk the arms a little bit further again. So we're going to feel this right across the arms, the shoulders. So breathe into the belly. And then just lift the head, bring the hands back in a little bit more. Take your mat, and I want you to bring your arms onto the mat this time. So you've got your wrists on the mat, on your rolled up mat. Your arms are stretched out. Good. And see if you notice anything different in the back. And also, see, can you turn your shoulders outwards so the palms of your hands on the mat, they go this way. So the palms of the hands from here, they turn that way. Okay, so as if you're holding a dinner plate. Try that and try and straighten the arms as best you can. You really feel this into the shoulders, into the arms. Just take a breath or two here. Notice how it feels. It may be for you, it may not. And then slowly walk the hands back in and come back into hero pose. So come back onto your feet if you can. Now, if we come to this position, hero pose, and we find it really difficult, we can always place the rolled up mat behind the knees. That opens out the knees, or underneath the shins. That gives us a little bit more freedom in the ankle joint. So it depends. If it doesn't feel comfortable, then you have a little bit of support. Take a little moment here and just breathe, connecting into the body. Then we're going to move into the side body. So from here, when you're ready, take a breath in, take the arms out by the sides, float the arms up over the head, reach all the way up. Exhale, let them come all the way back down. And let's do that again. So inhale, all the way up, slowly exhaling, all the way back down. Place the right hand onto the floor. Inhale, reach the left hand up, and then begin to lean all the way over. So feeling that the whole way down the side of the body, into the hips, stretch into those fingers, make it as long as you can. And on the next breath in, bring that hand back up and around and down by your side. Let's try the left side. So inhale, reach, bring that hand up. Leaning up and over. So visualize you're in between two panes of glass, one at the front, one at the back, so that we have a good alignment here. We're not leaning forward, or not lifting and sticking our tailbone out and hurting our lower back. One more breath here. And then slowly come back to the center. Good. Let's do a little twist over to the right. So take the left arm across the body. Look over the right shoulder. Come on back to the center. Little twist to the left. And again, a little twist to the right. Back to the center, little twist. So when we do a twist, think of moving the belly button, then the chest, shoulders. Last thing to go is the head. Good. And gently come back to the center. Okay, let's come to a lovely, lovely restorative pose where I want you to really begin to open up the chest. So this is a fantastic pose that I learned from a yogi physio in the States. She was in Ireland at the time doing workshops. So let's take our rolled up mat, which is the perfect solution. Let's take a pillow. So what I'd like you to do is come onto your bottom again, and your rolled up mat is going to be placed just across the bra strap, underneath the armpit. I'll show you. So you're going to come back down onto the mat. Your arms are above the mat on both sides. And rather than let your head completely fall back, oh, not nice, we want to take the pillow underneath the head. Now make yourself comfortable. So maneuver and do whatever it takes. So the arms are just above naturally. So the mat is just above the mat. So the mat is coming out just below the armpits. And then take the arms out by the sides. You can have the legs stretched outwards, or if there's any pinching in the back, bend the knees and tuck the tailbone under. And just allow the back to begin to open up and the chest to begin to open up. So again, make it comfortable. We're going to stay here for a couple of minutes. You can place your blanket over you as well to get nice and comfy. And in this pose, I really want you to focus on the heart center. So allowing the heart to expand as we breathe in. And in this pose, you'll really feel the expansion in the chest, maybe even a little bit the lower throat, almost the diaphragm as well. softening the face and the jaw. Just whatever you're feeling in the shoulders and the chest, just breathe into it and then let it go. And if the mind starts to wander, just say come back to the breath. You can go into thought later, but for now, let's see can we calm the mind. We can never stop the thoughts arising, but we can certainly calm the mind by just coming back to the lovely inhale and that lovely letting go on the exhale. And then we can add a breath or a count to the breath. So maybe breathe in for a count of 3 or 4. And then see can we exhale for maybe a count of 5 or 6 or 7. As long as we can go with the exhale. In this pose, we can stay here for as long as we like. It's very safe. It's really good for our posture, for feeling the shoulders are rounded. And then begin to come back into our bodies. Begin to consider moving onto your side, so rolling onto your side, pressing down into the earth, and again, just lifting yourself back up. So nice and slowly. And then I want to show you just 2 more. Another really good pose here for opening out the chest. So you're going to feel this maybe later on or tomorrow. So except going from right to left or left to right, we're going to go from top to bottom. So for this again, we're going to need another pillow. I'll show you what to do with that. So we turn around and place the mat, the rolled up blanket or a mat, just into the very lower back, right into our bottom. And then we're going to begin to crawl back down onto the mat. And then you may feel your head is there. You may want to lift your bum a little bit and make it a little bit more comfortable. And then you have your head on the mat, or maybe if you're longer, you may need a pillow. And check and see what that feels like. And alternatively, if you prefer, try it, put the pillow underneath the head. And if that's better for you, then leave the pillow there and take the hands back down by the sides. So your body is starting to mold around the mat. Now you can very easily stretch out the legs here. Closing over the eyes. So the shoulders are dropping down towards the floor. The palms of the hands are turned upwards. And we're breathing deeply into the chest, into the belly. And I invite you to count the breath. This time we're going to go from 0 all the way up to 10. So we'll take a breath in and we'll call this 1. We'll take a breath out and call it 2. Take a breath in, number 3. Slowly exhale, 4. And continue all the way to 10. And then when you reach 10, begin to slowly go back down to 0. So breathing in, we'll call this one 10. Breathing out, 9. Breathing in, 8. And continue in your own time until you reach 1. And then let go of the counting, not needing to get back to 1 or 0. Just come back to your normal breath. And again, if you want to come back to this pose later, you can stay here for as long as you like. Begin to walk the feet in closer to the body. Begin to roll onto your side and just move or roll away the mat that's behind you. So come onto a flat back. And just notice the difference. So take away the mat or the pillow or the blanket or whatever we're using behind the back. And just let the hands come out by the sides. Close the eyes. Notice how it feels. And begin to prepare yourself for Shavasana, which is our corpse pose, we call it. But in this pose, we're going to do a little bit of meditation. So get yourself comfortable and don't worry if you decide to doze off and have a little nap. You'll still hear me and I'll call you back in at the end. So we're going to have our pillow under our head. We can have a couple of blankets underneath the knees, another blanket over us, and just let the legs fall out whatever way is comfortable. And if it's bright and you want to put a little eye mask over the eyes, you can do that as well. So tonight's meditation is called Loving Kindness Meditation. So begin by just settling yourself first. Get nice and warm and comfortable. taking the hands out by the sides, closing the eyes. And then just begin to connect into your breath. So again, that beautiful long inhale, a breath that's always with us, and that beautiful long exhale. And you can do this part of the class, this meditation, seated in a chair, lying on a bed, lying on your yoga mat, whatever's comfortable. So make yourself really comfortable and allow your hands to be at rest and at ease. Gently close your eyes. And settling into the awareness of the body and really beginning to feel into your body right now, noticing what's here. And be open to whatever is to be experienced in the body in this moment. And as you connect to your breath, notice the wave-like movements of the belly. And in this practice, we'll be cultivating loving kindness. We all have within us this natural capacity for loving kindness or friendship that is unconditional, open, gentle, and supportive. And loving kindness is a natural opening of a compassionate heart to ourselves and to others. It's a wish that everyone be happy and at ease. So we begin with developing this loving kindness towards ourselves, allowing our hearts to open with tenderness. And now allow yourself to remember and open up to your basic goodness. You might remember times you have been kind or generous. You might recall your natural desire to be happy and not to suffer. If acknowledging your own goodness is difficult, look at yourself through the eyes of someone who loves you. What does that person love about you? Or you may even recall the unconditional love that you felt from a pet. It may help to use your imagination and picture yourself as a young child standing before you, perhaps age 5 or 6. And if that allows tender feelings of kindness to flow more easily, then allow that picture to come now. And as you experience this love, notice how you feel in your body. Maybe you feel some warmth or heat in the face, a smile. This is a loving kindness, natural feeling that is accessible to all of us, always. So resting with this feeling of open, unconditional love for yourself for a few minutes. Letting yourself bask in the energy of loving kindness, breathing it in and breathing it out. Inviting feelings of peace and acceptance. So beginning now to wish yourself well by extending words of loving kindness to yourself. And you may wish to alter these words and use your own words, or you may wish to repeat them after me. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be held in loving kindness. May I feel connected and calm. May I accept myself just as I am. May I be happy. May I know the nature and the natural joy of being alive. I'm going to repeat these words to ourselves once more. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be held in loving kindness. May I feel connected and calm. May I accept myself just as I am. May I be happy. May I know the natural joy of being alive. Now we can open the circle of loving kindness by bringing to mind someone who is dear to you, someone whom you care about and who has always been supportive. So reflect on this person's basic goodness, sensing what it is in particular that you love about him or her. And in your heart now, feel an appreciation for this dear one and begin your simple offering. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be held in loving kindness. May you feel my love now. And may you accept yourself just as you are. May you be happy. And may you know the natural joy of being alive. And just breathe into that for a moment. And now bring to mind a neutral person. This is someone you might see regularly, but you don't know well. Could be somebody that you see on a bus or in a shop. It might be a neighbor or somebody in a grocery store. And bring this person to mind now. And repeat the words of loving kindness. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be held in loving kindness. May you feel my love now. May you accept yourself just as you are. May you know the natural joy of being alive. And now, if it's possible for you, bring to mind someone with whom you're having a difficult relationship with, or some difficulty with. Perhaps it's someone you don't like to feel sympathy or compassion for. Seeing if it's possible to let go of feelings of resentment and dislike for this person. Reminding yourself to see this person as a whole being, deserving of love, deserving of kindness, and as someone who feels pain and anxiety, and as someone who also suffers. So now see if it's possible to extend to this person the words of loving kindness in your mind. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be held in loving kindness. May you feel my love now. And may you accept yourself just as you are. May you be happy. May you know the natural joy of being alive. Just sit with this for a moment. And now allow your awareness to open out in all directions. Yourself, a dear one, a neutral person, a difficult person, and of all beings, humans, animals, living everywhere, living in richness, living in poverty, war, peace, hunger, abundance. Allow all of the joys and sorrows that all beings experience. Being aware of all the joys and sorrows. And we say, may all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all beings be happy. May all beings awaken and be free. May all beings be happy. And now as we begin to bring this practice to a close, by coming back to extending kindness to yourself, let's take a couple of moments basking in the energy of loving kindness that may have been generated here.
And as we begin to bring our awareness back into our breaths, back into the room we're in, back into our bodies, begin bringing a little bit of movement into the feet, the toes, into the fingers. And take a nice stretch, whichever way feels right for you this evening, just to bring yourself back into a waking place. And then take a nice stretch, whichever way feels good for you this evening, whether it be into the feet, into the legs, into the arms. Maybe open and close the eyes and the mouth a couple of times. Notice your breath, notice how you feel. And then when the time is right, just walk the feet closer to the body. Perhaps give yourself a little hug. Hug the knees in towards the chest. And just gently rock from side to side. And then when you're ready, roll over onto your side. Pressing down with your hand to come back up. And just come to a nice seated position where we can begin to close off together. Just take your hands to your heart center. Noticing how you feel. And we close off our class. We bow our heads to each other, to our hearts, to the earth. And we say namaste.